Greetings, friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage of a little girl. It's been a while since I'd come back to these children, but it was time. I decided I needed to get back to some of these child drawings. And this one is kind of special. This little girl was staying with her grandmother, who was a neighbor of mine. And the grandmother said that I could take pictures of her posed for a children's book I was working on. And I thought she would be perfect for these posed pictures. I wanted her to look candid, to not look into the camera, and to look surprised. Well, if you can see, she does not look too surprised. She is posing herself. She is smiling, and she can't stop smiling. And so I couldn't use these pictures for the children's book I was working on because she just wouldn't stop smiling. She knew the camera was on her even if she wasn't looking at it. And I get that. Some people just can't be candid if they know there's a camera pointed at them. And so she's charming, she's delightful. She didn't work for the children's book that I was working on. However, she's fun to just draw because she does have the cutest little smile. So nothing goes to waste. I did use my reference photo for something. In this case, a drawing. Just a drawing of a child's face. I did it for the exercise of drawing children's faces. And the interesting thing is, when you take classes in college, even concentrating on children's book illustration, they do not give you, they don't give you any time working on children's faces. They have you drawing adult faces, which is ridiculous if you're concentrating on children's book illustrations. In one class, I took of face drawing, they had 1 week out of the semester working on children's faces. I didn't think it was anywhere near adequate. 1 week, come on. We're supposed to be concentrating on children here. But I can't change the system. All I can do is practice what I know I need to practice on my own, which is why I have all these drawings. I challenged myself to do a face per day for 100 days. And so I have 100 children's faces, face drawings. And this is just one of those. And, being that it's just an exercise, I didn't want to throw them all away. I realized I can't really use them for anything else. They were just for me, for the exercise of drawing children's faces. But collaging children's faces is also an exercise. And so that's what I am doing with all these children's faces. I'm doing the exercise of creating collage with children. And children's faces are much different than adult faces. They are, they're rounder, for one thing. The eyes tend to be just a little bit lower than adult faces, and also bigger. in comparison with the rest of the face. That's not that their eyes are really bigger. In scientific terms, the eyes don't really grow that much. The face grows, and therefore the eyes, when you get older, look smaller in comparison with the rest of the face. Plus the teeth and the jaw gets bigger, so the face elongates. But children have baby teeth in their mouth, and so they have this shorter chin and rounder cheeks. Also, they have a shorter neck. You can almost tell the age of a child by the length of their neck. A baby holds their head so low next to the shoulders, they almost look like they have no neck, which is ridiculous. Of course, they have a neck, but the muscles have not matured. And so, as they get older, the neck seems to get longer. So this little girl was 3 years, going on 4 years old. Her neck is still quite short comparatively to her body and her head. And her hair was not quite blonde, kind of a golden brown, almost blonde, but the sunlight was shining on it so nicely that it shined almost white in places. So I'm using lots of browns and golds and a very, very pale tan for the highlights. And against this background, it looks almost white. The highlights I'm putting in her hair. She's supposed to be, for the pose, looking down and pointing, surprised at something in a fishbowl. But she doesn't look surprised at all. And her finger is pointing nicely, but I didn't draw that part in. I just had her looking down. It's that smile that she never could get rid of. I apologize for the glare. I am using a semi-gloss paper, and so if the light isn't just perfect, I can see pretty well what I'm doing, but the camera sees glare. So I don't always see what the camera sees. I'm too busy doing the work until after it's all done, and then I see, oh dear, there was quite the glare. I can also change what people are wearing, which I find fun. In this case, she was wearing a green shirt with some cartoon character on the front, and I didn't want that. I want something rather generic. I want the focus not to be on her shirt, but on her face. If that makes sense. So it was a rather eventful December for me. Lots of family, lots of visiting, and so I didn't get to work every day on my project as much as I wanted to. there was lots of cooking and baking involved, and of course. So this particular picture took longer than it should have, but only because I didn't get to work on it every day. I found just the right colors for the lips, and now I'm putting in the eyes. You can't see it for the glare, but I put in the whites of the eyes, which are really quite gray because she's looking down, and her eyes are being shaded by the eyelids. So it's just about there. Here it is, the finished product. Tell me what you think. Her eyebrows are missing, but only because she was so light colored that you don't really see them anyway. And there's certainly quite the patchwork quilt going on in her hair, but when you stand back, it all looks like it belongs. So thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. I certainly appreciate everyone who has subscribed, and do check out some of my links and give me a thumbs up if you like this. It really helps my channel. Bye everyone. I'll see you next year.